Hey friends, thanks for tuning into the channel. Today we're diving into what's the importance of forgiveness and gratitude when it comes to manifesting our dreams and staying in a creative flow state. So whenever we hold resentments, grudges, negative emotion towards people, and we get into that space of repeating those stories, creates resistance in our flow. And this forgiveness or forgiveness, to give it over, to let it go, can also be a process of welcoming it in and understanding that the emotion is the indicator. So in the stages of letting go, right, there's letting it be where it is, there's welcoming it in, and there's transcending it. And wherever we're falling on the emotional scale, we can start to work our way through that. We can start to work our way up. We can start to recognize and accept wherever we're at emotionally, with maybe there was a difficulty of conflict or someone that didn't understand you. Is there some kind of blessing in that, right? Because in this process of emotional clearing, we recognize that those are like patterns that play out in our life, right? And so if we weren't respected in a relationship, we can recognize that we want respect. So it's like, what that's the not wanted points us towards what we do want. And so if you look at what you want and you ask why do you want to feel respected? Well, you want to feel loved. You want to feel admiration. You want to feel blessed and appreciated. And so when you come into, like, you feel that in your emotional center, in your solar plexus, and you go and do the inner vibrational work around that and find that it's ultimately that you want to feel a sense of worthiness. So then you allow that situation to point you towards a condition that you want, which then shows you what's the emotion that I would have in having this thing that I want. And then you find a way to find that feeling within yourself, or to conjure that feeling of worthiness. You're giving yourself the self-love and worthiness that you're seeking in the shift in this relationship, and it cannot help but change. That's just how the magic of it works, because it's like a mirror and you're attracting it. So when you go in and you process those emotions around not feeling respected by this person, and then realizing that it's an indicator of your own desire to respect yourself, and you go in and give yourself respect, you will also be different in your energetic boundaries, where you will not either allow that or attract that to begin with. And so it's this energy dynamic. And when it comes to gratitude, a practice I was doing this morning was going into, like, if I'm having a memory about, say, a situation where we had a disagreement around what they thought my value was, and I could go in and I could start to take and understand their perspective and be thankful for the role that they played, right? By letting go of that feeling of being disrespected and coming back to sourcing that within myself and being in a state of, like, neutrality, not allowing that to affect my self-worth and taking that personally, that I can understand both of our perspectives, and I can actually have gratitude. I can have appreciation for the role that they played, and me realizing more deeply what my values are. And by letting go of that attachment to the external, to the other person changing, you are freeing up your energy, right? Because you're centering within your body. So being able to like feel that release of energy creates an opening And this is also what meditation does. When you get into the non-resistance and you cease the momentum of the old self, old pattern, it creates a gap. And there's always a gap. Everything is connected, but there is separation, right? It creates you and I, it creates distinction, and that is a beautiful thing. So when we go into that meditation, we do sync up with that feeling of oneness, and that it's like you're becoming one with yourself, because at the deeper level there is no separate self. There is a whole self, right? And when you are becoming a whole self, an integration, right? Integration of dark and light, or just absence of what is wanted and what is wanted, right? If you look at it that way, there's like an inherent goodness, there's like an inherent grace, there's an inherent, you just want to appreciate, you just want to be a blessing and to give. So when you look at these people that challenged you, you can see that perhaps like, oh, these were parts of my life that I were taking for granted. That's also what sometimes difficulty like I experienced with something happening with my vehicle, like the tire popping at an inconvenient time, where then I started to become more and more appreciative of my vehicle. Like, it's like, are you only appreciative of things that you have normally when something has gone wrong? And I think that that's also a blessing of these periods of where we do experience lack or we do experience limitation, is that the contrast makes the expansion so much sweeter. There cannot be expansion without that contraction period of where we come back to the simplicity of this moment to moment. And then the material world becomes our spiritual world instead of the materialism, which creates a deficit of spirit seeking outside of yourself for happiness. And when you find your happiness within, and every single moment becomes a blessing, and these challenges and these past relationships where you did not feel met allow you to meet yourself even more deeply, and then you will attract differently. And in that contrast makes the bitterness, makes the sweetness so much brighter. You get this beautiful launching pad for everything that is your creation, because you didn't just come here to like get it done and manifest some like cookie cutter thing. It's like, no matter what you do, whether you're a business person or an artist, it's like what your life is art. What you create is a masterpiece, and you are the actual thing that you are creating. That everything else is an extension of your senses, which are vibrational interpretations, and your hands, and whatever you manipulate this physical world with, is every action that you take is secondary to your vibration. And this is why holding on to grudges and thinking of that person and bitching about them closes your energy down. It is the most selfless thing you can do, is the most selfish thing you can do, is to forgive and is to bless them. And when that comes up, being like, okay, am I going to continue this negative story? Because there's something different than processing and then just like you're just complaining about it and perpetuating it, because that's a very real thing. Because if you continue to do that, you will stay trapped in that story. You'll just keep the momentum going, and nothing in your life will change. You'll live day in and day out being a victim until you take your power back and realize that you are the creator and you are the creation and you are the blessed one, and so is everyone else, and you are deserved and worthy to claim that oneness with God, and let no one else convince you otherwise. It does not even matter what anybody else thinks. When you know who you are and you are one with God, all things are possible. and all things are blessed. And so having the perspective of best case scenario every single time, understand that your expectation is a belief, and your beliefs are nothing more than thoughts that you continue to hold, and your beliefs and your thoughts vibrationally create your reality, because your reality is made of the vibration of what you embody. So when you embody a new story, when you let go of that person who fucked you over and you bless them instead of curse them, that is where your power is at. When you bless them instead of curse them, because if you curse them, you're no better than them. You're not. You're just perpetuating the cycle. And when you break that cycle, you turn crap into blessings. You compost it, you transmute it. It just, everything in the universe empowers me. That is a powerful mantra. Everything in the universe seeks to empower me. Everything in my life is happening in my favor. Everything in my life is a blessing. And so having that appreciation as well of the contrast is so powerful to pivot us into a momentum. So when we let go and open up that space, in that gap, we can introduce this new momentum, this new manifestation. We can allow this ourselves to receive the vision, because that's what we are. We are receivers. We're translating these dreams into reality. Everything that is created starts first as an idea. So that's why I was saying the actions that you take are secondary. That's why letting go opens that space. And then when you get into that receptive mode and you're feeling that rejuvenative, inspiring breath, literally prana, literally breath of inspiration, inspiration, inspiritation, the in-breath of divinity, of life. Air is you of all intake you do, you're breathing. And so your breath, when you're aware of your breath and you have gratitude for the breath, that is the one thing that everyone has. It doesn't matter what your race is, doesn't matter what your background, doesn't matter if you're in a cave, doesn't matter your city, you breathe. And if you can appreciate your breath as a gift, you've just got a key to freedom. Nobody can take it away from you. You've got the key to freedom if you can love your breath. Every breath, you can either say yes or no to life. No is the resistance, and yes is the welcoming in of life. And the more that we can let life in, which is what happens when we let go of the things, we let go of the resistances, we forgive and we bless, and we have thanks, we give thanks and we give praise, we open up that space for the divine to enter our lives, and all through the divine, all things are possible. We live in a limitless, expanding universe. Like, the only limits that we have are our own limiting beliefs and our own conditioning and upbringing, and the natural laws of nature and being human and all of the workings of how that goes on. But really, it's as far as your imagination goes, because everything that we create, so this is how it relates to the flow state, right? Because when you welcome that energy in and you are in a state of flow, that's what non-resistance is. Flow, like a river. A river adapts, we evolve. So all of these things that happen, they can never, there is no thing that can hold you back forever. Every condition is temporary. Every illness, every relationship problem, always remember this is temporary. It cannot be anything other than temporary, because everything in this mortal plane is impermanent. That is what Buddhism tells you. It's impermanent, and it's beautiful. It's beautifully impermanent, and it will change, and it always is changing. Change is the only constant. And when you live in that power of the present moment, and you can say that no matter what adversity or what contrast, or even what blessing is going on, when you know that blessing is, that moment is going to change, it's like savoring it. And the actions that we take are secondary because everything that is created starts first in the mind. So when you let go and you open that space and you're in that natural appreciation energy will just start flowing through you. I notice this especially when I meditate, because I meditate every morning, that when that resistance ceases, the appreciation energy just starts flowing through. And then as that energy, you just start focusing generally on things that you appreciate already in your life. And then your vibrational grid will start to fill in. The vision, you'll start to tune your channel to the vision, to the station, to the frequency where the blessed life is. And it's your heaven on earth. It's not the heaven on earth. It's your own version of heaven on earth. And as you tune into that, you become a beacon. You become attuned to that, and it creates a momentum. So when you understand the principle of autosuggestion, which I made a video about before on the channel, you can check it out, and you understand the subconscious mind, you understand law of attraction, you understand law of assumption, you understand that you are attracting based on the vibration that you're embodying, and that your assumptions or your beliefs, your identity, the root of your identity creates the character that you play. You understand the power of your imagination. Your imagination is divinity. Your imagination is the world soul. Your imagination is the power to create. Your imagination. And everything that is created started first as an idea. So when you do these processes of letting go and letting in, and being in that state of allowance, that state of receptivity, that state of attunement, that state of oneness with yourself, and the more consistently, and even if you'll just notice it'll increase a little bit every day. You'll stop ruminating. The amount of time that you're ruminating will get less and less and less. You'll become more and more mindful of your thoughts and your emotions, and then you'll be able to shift in the moment. And the more that you close that gap and you come into synchronization with that, you will access your inner genius. And through the power of autosuggestion, which meaning that the impression in your subconscious, in your deeper mind, will become automatic to give you the inspirations from infinite intelligence as to the next step that you will take. You will find yourself automatically inspired to take the action. And when you enter into oneness with the state of being, you will be automatically given the words. The words are ideas. In the beginning is the word. The idea becomes, the word is made flesh. The idea becomes manifest. You are the translator of it. You're the receiver of it. You get to sift and sort, and that is the joy of creation. So when we let go of that resistance, and we open up that space, and we integrate those emotions, and we love those parts of ourself like really deeply, and we free up that energy, it raises up, get the tinglies up the spine, and then you open to a larger vision. You feel your oneness with God, yourself, your whatever you want to call it, the universe. And when you feel the power of creation moving through you, and then this is how it gets you into the flow state, because as you stay, you feel that you milk those senses of appreciation, go and get that good food. Oh my God, so yum, thank you, earth. And just the water and the air and the sun, and can you see the abundance of the ocean waves? You didn't have to pay for that. You can't put, there's no cash register for the ocean, it's free. So all of these things that we're blessed with that just are so abundant, as the more that we appreciate the abundance of nature, the universe is abundant. Our perception, our understanding, our limited lack consciousness grows shorter and shorter into our abundance consciousness grows larger and larger. And as within, so without, it cannot help but grow in your experience. And your creativity cannot help but increase because you are creator, and your inspiration is a result of the breath of life moving through you, and you cannot help but be healed and experience vitality because that is your true nature and non-resistance. So thank you for tuning in. Please like the video. Any comments? What are you grateful for today? What are you letting go of, and what are you welcoming in, calling into your life? Let's put some good prayer energy. And any future, if you have any questions for me, I just channel. Please, if you ask me a question, something will come through. And if you have any future video ideas, which is same thing. And again, please support the channel by subscribing, hit the bell for notifications, share it with a friend if you want. I just say spread the medicine and the love. So we'll see you on the next one. Bless.